Is that without objection?
Without objection.
Commissioner?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. I'd like to call this meeting order. Can I get a motion to go into legal?
So moved.
For,
Got a
Second.
motion and a second.
and for the record, for the area of pending or potential litigation, personnel, and real estate.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
Plus, no,
That motion carries with Mr. Bobby Williams, Mr. Brandon Garrett, and Mayor Davis out.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Back to order, please. Oh, no, you're good. Wait for him to walk back. All right, I'd like to recognize Attorney Brown. Turn your mic on, please.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. We'll request a motion to execute the closed meeting affidavit.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Commissioner Garrett, Commissioner Mason, voting, please.
That motion carries with Mr. Johnson, Mr. Bobby Williams, and Ms. Scott out.
All right, I'd like to go to Attorney Brown for a motion.
Thank you, Chairman. We'll request a motion to approve the hiring of Mr. Robert J. A. Walker as Augusta Engineering Senior Surveyor in the Engineering Department at a salary of $79,950 and the customary benefits provided Augusta, Georgia employees with an effective date of August 6, 2022.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Garrett, second by Commissioner Son. Voting, please.
The motion carries unanimous.
Attorney Brown for a motion, please.
Thank you, sir. We request a motion to appoint Carla Delaney as Director of Planning and Development Department at a salary of $120,000, at an annual salary of $120,000 with a car allowance of $500 per month and the customary benefits provided department directors with an effective date of July 1.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion from Commissioner Mason, a second Commissioner McKnight.
That's
Voting,
correct.
please. Attorney Burn, oh, sorry. Let me finish. Commissioner Clark.
It's unanimous.
Attorney Brown for a motion, please. If there is any.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, there are no further motions.
Okay, we will stand at ease for about 30 more seconds and then get started right at 2 o'clock. Can't break the law. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk. Sorry. She knows I'm fast.
Yes, sir, we're ready.
Okay.
At this time, I would like to call your attention to our invocation, which will be shared with us today by Reverend Ted H. Clarkson, Interim Rector of the Church of the Good Shepherd. After which, we would like to ask our Airport Director, Mr. Herbert Jadon, if he would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you please stand?
Let us pray. Almighty God, who has given us this good land, and particularly this county, for our heritage, we humbly pray that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of your favor and glad to do your will. Bless our county with honorable industry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties and fashion us into one united community. Endue with the spirit of wisdom those to whom, in your name, we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that, through obedience to your law, we may show forth your praise among all people. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness, and in the day of trouble, let not our trust in you fail. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You guys say?
Does he have it? Do you have the certificate? Reverend Clarkston, the Augusta Commission would like to thank you. It was a delight to have your priestly reverence presence, invoking the presence of God in our meeting place today. We would like to express our thankfulness to you, who felt it not troublesome or an inconvenience to come and pray for us with such a heartwarming and gratifying prayer. Thank you for your wisdom, your call for unity and divine protection. We receive your thoughtfulness as an act of service for God. May he bless you with peace and love for your kindness shown toward us today. Again, thank you, sir.
Please join me in thanking Reverend Clarkson.
Call your attention to the recognition portion of our agenda. The Augusta Commission would also like to offer its congratulations to our June 2022 June Years of Service recipients. And Ms. Anita Rookett, our HR Director, would come to present the honors.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator, and citizens of Augusta. It is with my great esteemed pleasure that I recognize our June Years of Service recipients. For the month of June 2022, we have 14 employees celebrating 5 to 20 years of service with Augusta. This afternoon, we'd like to recognize our 25 to 50 years of service. For the month of June, the total years of service and institutional knowledge being celebrated today is 270 years. So when I call your name, if you would please come forward. Miss Sharon Renee D'Antonac. I'm sorry, Mayor. Give us a moment. Mayor, we're waiting for you. I'm sorry. Michael Lawrence, Augusta Regional Airport, 25 years. Finally, Judge H. Scott Allen, Civil Court, 35 years. He did call and say thank you for the recognition. He couldn't believe it was 35 years. Once again, let's celebrate everyone.
All right, Ms. Bonner.
Okay. Our consent agenda consists of items 1 and 2. Items 1 and 2.
Okay, is there any motions to add, or, well, you're not going to remove, I guess, add to the consent agenda? Commissioner Garrett.
Thanks, sir. I'd like to add to the consent agenda item number 9, 19, 20,
Oh, hold on. 9, 19, 20.
21, 22, and 23.
No objection. 9, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. All right, Commissioner Clark.
Yes, I'd like to add agenda item 3, 11, and 12.
That was 3, 11, and 12.
11, and 12.
No objection. Is there any further motions to add to the consent agenda?
Mr. Interim Mayor.
Yeah.
Item number 18, I do believe I received a request from the Sheriff's Department that this item be deleted. I don't see anyone from here, so I guess that request will stand.
It's deleted or
Deleted.
delete agenda item 18? Deleting agenda item number 18. Does anybody, 15 and 16, does anybody have any
Mr.
issues
Chairman.
with 15 and 16? Okay, 15 and 16 are added. All right. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to request to remove item number 10 from the agenda until the tiny home ordinance is brought back before the commission.
Removed from agenda.
So we want to postpone that one?
Please.
Okay, to the consent, postpone. Remove? He wants to remove it, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Son,
Yes, I'm going to add item number 13.
add item 13.
So that would be a deletion.
All right. Ms. Bonner, can you state for the record all the ones we just consented, removed, or deleted?
Okay. Our consent agenda would consist of items 1, 2, 3, 9, deletion of item number 10, number 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, deletion of item number 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve from Commissioner McKnight, approval Commissioner Mason. Voting, please.
Mr. Garrett, please.
Garrett.
It's unanimous.
All right.
Let's start with the
Agenda
alcohol.
item number 4.
Okay, Ms. Walton.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. If all of my alcohol applicants are in the chamber, as I begin to read your item, can you please come and stand to my right, and you'll be asked to state your full name and your home address. It's a request by Magdy Flauschus for a consumption on-premise beer and wine license to be used in connection with Two Boys Pizza and Grill located at 3026 Washington Road. This application has been approved by the Sheriff's Department and Planning and Development. Do we have any objections to this alcohol petition?
None noted. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Magdi Faltaus, 3026 Washington Road, Augusta,
Your,
Georgia.
your home address.
My home address?
Yes, sir.
3955 Caesars Road, West Columbia, South Carolina, 29170.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second? Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
The next item is alcohol number 22-53, a request by Marion M. Koger for a consumption on-premise beer and wine license and a retail package beer and wine license to be used in connection with Tip Top Taps, located at 936 Broad Street, Suite 101. This application has been approved by the Sheriff's Office and Planning and Development.
Okay. We'll go back to 5.
I apologize.
Just please, go ahead.
Do we have any objectors to this alcohol petition? Mr. Kroger.
Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Marion Miles Koger, 976 Windmill Lane, Evans, Georgia.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please. This is agenda item number 6. We'll go back to 5.
Mr. Clark, Mr. Dennis Williams, and Mr. Jordan Johnson. Thank you. It's unanimous.
I apologize, I skipped number 5. It's alcohol number 22-51, a request by Georgia Alexander for a consumption on-premise beer and wine license to be used in connection with Dee's 5-Star Company, located at 630 Crane Creek Drive, Suite 103. There will be Sunday sales at this location. This application has been approved by the Sheriff's Office and Planning and Development. Do we have any objectors to this alcohol petition?
None noted. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Georgia Alexander, 2708 Kipling Drive, Augusta, Georgia, 30909.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
Alcohol number 22-52, a request by Christopher P. Sullivan for a consumption on-premise liquor, beer and wine license to be used in connection with Tea Sushi 1 LLC, located at 437 Highland Avenue. There will be Sunday sales at this location. This application has been approved by the Sheriff's Office and Planning and Development. Do we have any objectors to this alcohol petition?
None noted.
Mr. Sullivan could not be here today, but he did send someone to represent him in his absence.
Please state your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Charla Lamar, 3750 Tailboard Way, Martinez, Georgia.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
Was that
Are
Mr.
you-
Hassan?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion and a second. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
The last item is a request by Yusufali Lagarde for a retail package beer and wine license to be used in connection with Hola Convenience Store, located at 2517 Milledgeville Road. This application has been approved by the Sheriff Department and Planning and Development. Do we have any objections to this alcohol petition?
None noted.
Is Mr. Lagarde in the chamber? Ms. Bond, I think this is like the fourth time we...
The fourth time he has not appeared, so.
And he did texted me yesterday, and I told him the meeting was at 2 o'clock. So
We'll leave it at the discretion of the commission, how you would like to move forward. They are
Last-
required to be
Yeah, so we'll push it to the next full
Committee.
commission meeting?
the full commission meeting? Okay.
I mean, is that, no, I'm just making a recommendation. I'm listening to them. Is that Attorney Brown, I'm going to ask you to weigh in.
If that's the will of the body, or the body could simply remove the item
Just remove it?
from the agenda. Delete the item.
Okay, can I get a motion to delete the agenda item?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question
Sure.
first?
Commissioner Hassan.
Yes, I just want to know, has he went through the committee process, though, but and not the
He
commission
hasn't
process?
showed up.
Neither one of them?
No.
All right, just delete, good to go.
Okay, so we got are you going to second the motion? We got a second from Commissioner Francine.
Okay, we got
Scott?
several there. Who were we?
Francine.
Mr. Scott?
Scott,
Okay.
yep.
To delete.
To delete. Got a motion, a second to delete. Voting, please.
It's unanimous.
Agenda item number 14.
Item 14 is to consider a request for allocation of funds from the ARPA to the Augusta Boxing Club.
Is this administrator, am I coming to you, or is there, who put this on the
The
agenda?
representative from the Augusta Boxing Club, are you in the chamber?
Okay. All right, sir, if you could state your name and address for the record. And
Yes,
just kind of
Lenny
talk
Pulley.
about the funds and the need and that sort of thing.
Yes, Lenny Pulley, 302 Alcock Way.
Okay.
You've seen me here before to request funds for the boxing club. I came in November and we requested funds, an increase in the funds that from the $50,000 that the city does give us up to this point. And at that time, you had told us to come back to you for the American Rescue Plan money and requesting $200,000. As you know, the boxing club is one of the longest running boxing clubs, the second longest running boxing club in the country. And as I stated in November, as I've done every year before for everybody, it's not just boxing. This is to get these high-risk, violent kids off the street. And if the boxing club closes after nearly 50 years, we have too many kids we can almost handle now. They're back on the streets again and under the influence of bad elements on the street. So we're back here again. As we were directed in November to request money through the American Rescue Plan. One of these, if we save one of these kids, the return on investment would be far more than $200,000 over the lifetime of that child. And we save more than one kid every year. So this is, I hate to put it in that context where we're talking about return on investment, but that's what it is. Not just financially, but in other means as well. I hear many people talk about, well, we need to do something about these kids. We need to help them out. This is the opportunity to do that. And I'm not going to take a lot of your time. We have some parents here too that want to say a couple words as well. One thing I want to mention though too, there was another boxing club in Waynesboro that received $700,000. This club has like 10 kids. That's hasn't been around anywhere nearly as long as the Augusta Boxing Club. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I think we can do more for the boxing club. I hope we can. As you know, the police department supports us, the court support us. We work with the educational side with troubled kids. And this is an organization, I've said many times, it's a viable organization, community organization. Don't get the boxing mixed up. The boxing is a way to get to these toughs on the street. They respect boxing because, that's the way they think. And again, we cannot let this viable organization go under after all these years. We're only asking for $200,000 out of a lot of money from the American Rescue Plan.
Okay. A few of the colleagues want to have some discussions. I'm going to start with Commissioner Hassan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say First and foremost, I think all of us are, on some level, are familiar with Augusta Boxing Club. I have one question first before I make some comments.
Yes, sir.
About how many kids do you entertain on any given day?
110.
Okay, thank you. One thing I think we all can say about it since I've been on this commission, of all the entities that we have in this city, and I do stand correcting if I'm wrong about this, to be corrected, and that is that they're the most responsible and keep us abreast of their body of work. Anytime they're going out of town, they let us know where they're going. Mm-hmm. They also give us the results of what has happened on their return. And they engage with us more than any entity that I know of on a consistent basis. Also, I just want to encourage my colleagues, I've done some research this morning on a site called justicepolicy.org. And what I was looking at, the cost to incarcerate youth, and it had there a list of all the states in the United States what it costs. To incarcerate a youth in the state of Georgia is $309 per day, which comes to a total of $112,000 per year. One youth. $112,000 annually to incarcerate one youth in the state of Georgia. That is justicepolicy.org. Had every state in the union. Or in the United States. I don't know about the union at that one. But anyway, and so I think what they're asking for, hopefully my colleagues can find some in their heart to do what they're doing. We know they're a viable organization. We're going to do a great body of work. And that their motto is, we rather fund the sweat in the gym than the bleed in the streets. And that's what we're witnessing. And I support their ask, and I'm hoping and praying we find our heart to support. I'll make a motion to give them the $200,000.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Clark.
Thank you. You know, the Augusta Boxing Club, the boxing part of it is teaching discipline. And evidently it's taken on to a personal part of the kid's life, because I am acquainted with a boxing club over in Alabama, and I'm acquainted with one over in South Carolina. And I talk with them. Y'all go do tournaments. And do you know that the Augusta Boxing Club, Augusta, Georgia's boxing club, the kids has the reputation to be the most polite, the most respectful, and well-behaved groups to come into these tournaments. That's because the Augusta Boxing Club teaches this. When they're representing that way in other cities, you know that they're representing that way in our city. So the chances of one of them going out on Broad Street at 2:30 in the morning killing somebody is probably slim to none. The commissioner from the 6 made a motion, and it was seconded for this money. I personally don't think that's enough money. If I could make a substitute motion, I'd make a substitute motion to give you $300,000.
Is that a substitute motion?
I will make that substitute motion to give the Augusta Boxing Club $300,000, and that's to help y'all pay for your building that you had to buy also. So I'll make that substitute motion to give the Augusta Boxing Club $300,000.
Second.
All right.
Okay, that was Mr. Clark and Ms. McKnight.
I was hoping for $200,000, and then we have a celebrity box off between commissioners, mayor, and elected officials. That's where I was going. We're going to raise some money in this community. Before the next ask, we're going to have a celebrity box off up in the ring. That's what I want to see. Commissioner Garrett.
I have 3 questions. A couple for you, and then one for probably our administrator or attorney. First question is, the money you're asking for, what are you going to use it for?
Yes, I know we went into debt during COVID for many reasons. I mean, Ray and others took money out of their own pocket to pay for things, and I think that's in the request. The exact, and I hate to read something verbatim, But part of it too is the building. We had
If it's in the request, it's not in our books, so.
Oh, okay.
So,
You know, we encourage, so I'll read it. I hate to do that, but this is a form request box for $200,000 in money funding required to help the club recover from the decline in revenues and expenses incurred during the COVID-19 public health orders. We also incur costs associated with implementation of prevention and mitigation measures to contain the spread of the virus, such as physical changes to enable social distancing, enhanced cleaning efforts, barriers and partitions, and COVID-19 vaccination contact tracing programs. So we use it to help defer the cost we incurred during that period, but also we have more kids after COVID. We've got a ton of kids that have come in, and we need funds to help expand the program to take care of these kids. So,
Okay.
and that would be in coaches, adding maybe another coach.
so there's not any other additional reasons or uses of this money other than what you listed?
Right.
So, okay. I just know that there's been conversations with others in regards to something else, but did you guys apply for the PPP loan through the federal government during COVID?
Yes, we did.
And that wasn't enough to cover your shortfalls?
No.
Okay.
And also, we had to get an SBA loan, so we're in debt for that. The boxing club is heavily in debt, which is what's going to drive it under, unfortunately.
The kids that participate in your club, what does it cost them to participate?
Well, a lot of kids, if they can't afford it, it's free. We subsidize the kids who just can't afford it. I mean, we're not going to send them back out onto the street. The ones that can't afford it, Ray, I'm $50 a month for the ones who can't afford it.
Okay. And attorney or administrator, this question's for you, if that's okay. I'm not even sure what to call you, Commissioner Franham.
Go ahead, sir.
Is this an allowable use of ARP funds?
It would fall under an eligible category, yes.
Was that eligible?
Eligible.
Yes.
Okay.
Eligible.
Okay. And is there any way to, I guess, track this money once it's given, or is that I don't know. But anyway, okay. Well, that's all the questions I have.
Yeah, let me say this. I support this request. I do think that this government, we need to come up with a more streamlined process of accountability to entities that we give the money. And however, and a little bit more of like what it's being used for, because frankly, it needs to be used for the kids, not for salaries. And that's why, I mean, if there was a way for us to pay the bills and they send it, to send these kids these, I mean, that's my heartburn a little bit with this, is just that like these needs to be for the kids. I mean, that's who we need to be supporting. So with that, we got a motion and a substitute motion and a second for $300,000 to the boxing club out of the ARRP fund. Funds. All right, voting.
That motion carries 6-3, with Mr. Dennis Williams voting no, Mr. Ben Hassan, and Mr. Brandon Garrett.
All right. Next agenda item, Madam Clerk.
Okay. That will be item number 17. A motion to approve the Quick Strike pilot program as presented by the administrator.
Administrator Dowse.
Thank you, Mr.
Chairman.
As you all know, this commission recently approved an allocation of $3 million to the Quick Strike pilot program, of which $500,000 was allocated to the DDA. The DDA is currently working through an MOU with ACE, of which that organization will receive $203,500 for maintenance and communication. They currently conduct trash pickup as well as litter pickup and pressure washing between the corridors of 13th Street and 5th Street, as well as Jones Street and Ellis Street. The remaining $2.5 million we are proposing to be used for right-of-way maintenance to include irrigation as well as landscape vegetation, especially in high-traffic areas that those projects were not completed as a result of a lack of funding. The second plan would be to utilize additional funding for our illegal dumping issues, of which the Marshal's Office, Augusta 311, and Environmental Services currently act as a partnership and work in conjunction to maintain those areas. And then the third option, which was not listed in your book as we reallocated funding, was to allocate $500,000 to the Riverwalk. So that would be $1.5 million for right-of-way, landscaping, and irrigation maintenance, $500,000 to the Augusta Riverwalk for maintenance and infrastructure needs, and then an additional $500,000 for illegal dumping and litter cleanup. That totals $2.5 million of the $3 million that has already been allocated.
Okay, thank you. Who would control these funds? Who would they, what department?
A portion of the funds would be Parks and Recreation for the Augusta Riverwalk, and then engineering for illegal dumping, as well as the right-of-way maintenance and irrigation services that I described. So our new engineering and environmental services department combined.
What about, and none to the Marshal's department?
No.
Okay. And my other question was, as far as like the homeless situation, where is that kind of fall under that first category that you talked about, where they're like leaving grocery carts and, you know, they're creating little homes in a sense, like, does that fall under that first category?
That does fall under illegal dumping, so yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to go to Commissioner Garrett and Commissioner Mason.
Thank you. Administrator, I have some questions. In regards to that 1.5 for the right-of-way, is that including the ACE program, or where is that listed in this?
No, the $1.5 million is for right-of-way maintenance to include landscaping, irrigation, as well as increasing our right-of-way mowing schedule.
So are we not allocating any more towards the ACE program through the DDA?
No, that was not proposed in this plan.
Even though it was discussed last week when we initially brought this up, and you were going to bring back something, correct?
That's correct, because $203,500 is already included in the MOU between DDA and ACE.
Right, and that gets them 2 years. This was to get some additional years out of that program. And in regards to the illegal dumping, what extra illegal dumping measures will take place? I mean, are they going to be able to allocate more resources and people towards this? Are we hiring more people? Explain that a little bit.
Sure. We have a heat map that is on your screen, which currently allocates 2 primary areas, of which data shows that these areas have been considered hot spots for illegal dumping, which alludes to what Commissioner Franham was talking about as far as shopping carts and mattresses, as well as tires and things of sort. So those funds for illegal dumping would go towards leasing equipment, routine maintenance and repair for a grapple truck, as well as additional heavy equipment operators, which would increase the services that we already provide, but would allow the department to contract out for an additional crew to tackle these areas on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Good,
right.
sir.
I would actually like to amend her motion for just $1 million towards the right-of-way and then $500,000 towards the ACE program.
Where's the other $1 million?
Well, and keep the others the same.
Okay, there's no second on that.
I need to do an official.
I thought that was your motion.
Oh, yeah, because there's more discussion.
Yeah, I was going to wait for the more discussion.
Okay.
I'm just leaving that out there for
All
where
right.
I'm thinking.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Commissioner. As I'm looking at this map, I'm going to need an explanation because I'm seeing some green, I'm seeing some heat towards the tip up there. What exactly is going on with this map that I need to be aware of?
Minister.
So illegal dumping has been reported throughout our community.
Right, I see that circular part. I see that that's all over the place. But-
Okay, and so that's your yellow and green. However, your red as well as your orange are areas that are depicted via data that shows these areas are prone to repeat offenses surrounding illegal dumping. The Marshal's Office, as well as Augusta 311's data, has reported numerous occurrences over the months as well as years in which these areas have been deemed hotspots for illegal dumping.
Okay, so what is the coverage area for the rights of ways? Is that on here somewhere? I mean,
No, this is just the illegal dumping map.
okay, do we have a plan for the right of ways? I mean, because I know we got stormwater, we got different things going on. What are we talking about here?
Sure. So the right-of-way proposed plan is to increase our cuts from 6 cuts, meaning we cut every 6 weeks. We will increase that to 4 weeks, but only in areas that have been deemed of high traffic as well as considered a major enhanced roadway for consideration. So some of the areas that you would notice would be Laney Walker, East Boundary, Gordon Highway, Windsor Spring Road, and many of those areas also do not have irrigation, which is the reason why we have not been able to maintain any flowering vegetation there.
Well, right now, Mr. Chairman, I got a lot more questions. Maybe we'll get some
Come
more
back around.
clarity as these as we communicate here today. But I don't have numbers fuzzy just yet.
Okay. Commissioner Son. Oh, Commissioner Clark.
Thank you. This is to the administrator. Why is the money dedicated to the engineering department, not the marshal's office? That's the first question. Number two, if it is going to remain with the engineering department, don't they already have the equipment available in the engineering department to take care of the pickups of this illegal dumping and what have you?
No, sir. Unfortunately, at this particular point, when the service requests are entered and when the citations are given, there's a backlog in the ability to go out and pick up the litter and address the materials that have been illegally dumped. And so this particular proposal will allow additional resources to where we can get that litter and the items that have been illegally dumped off our streets in a faster fashion.
Okay, now the last question I'll ask on this. When you're doing the cuts on the roadways that's got curbings on it, does that include getting the grass that grows up between the curb and the roadway? Because if you don't address that, the rest of it's moot.
The engineering director is present that can give you additional details concerning the contract specifics. So if you would allow him to speak concerning that matter, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Good afternoon. The mowing contract is really just the maintenance contract, cutting the grass, picking up the litter, but it does not include grassing the area that may need grassing, but it can be added with additional costs.
Misunderstood the question.
Commissioner Clark, can you repeat the question again?
Does the cutting and the maintenance include removing the grass that grows between the curb and the edge of the roadway?
Yes, sir.
It does?
It does. They have to spray chemical and
Guess we'll see.
Okay.
I don't
Commissioner
have faith in it. I'm sorry.
Dennis Williams.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My main concern is, would local small vendors be able to get some of this work from this agreement?
Administrator.
All of the contracts will be let through procurement. So yes, local small businesses do have an opportunity to bid on the contracts as they do currently.
Okay, is there anything that would assist us in ensuring that the vendor will be a local vendor?
We currently have a local small business ordinance in place. That should be sufficient.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Garrett.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we allocate $1 million to the right-of-way maintenance, $500,000 to ACE, $500,000 to Riverwalk, and $500,000 to illegal dumping.
Second.
Okay. Are you, Commissioner Son, are you?
I'm sorry, ACE, give me the acronym, what's the acronym for, what is ACE?
That's the program that's facilitated currently through the DDA that is maintaining Broad Street and the side streets. They're pressure washing, picking up trash, picking up litter on a daily basis.
So that means that's a total, if you give them 500, that means they got a total of $1 million?
Yes, and that should give them 4 or 5 years of service per their contract.
Attorney Brown.
Commissioner Garrett, in that you intend for it to cover four years, additional 2 years, I guess?
Well, they currently have $500,000, which we know covers 2 years. So the 500, this extra 500 would cover 2 more.
Would you like to make that a part of your directive that it is to cover more than, so it's not dumped all into 2 years?
Yes, if that's what you think it needs to state, then I will amend my motion to state that the $500,000 for ACE will cover 2 additional years.
Okay. We got a motion second. Let's see.
Second.
Commissioner Mason, would you like to, any more than bite at the apple?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay. Commissioner Dennis Williams, are you good?
I was just going to ask if the ACE vendor, is he a local contractor? Okay.
Yes. All right. And with no further discussion, we've got a motion and a second. Ms. Bonner, would you like to state that just for the record again, so we make sure it's clean and everybody understands it?
Okay, the motion for the quick pilot program, $1 million for ACE program, amended to $500,000 for Riverwalk and $500,000 for the illegal dumping, with 2 additional years.
I don't think that's correct. Commissioner Garrett, will you state it again? Because that wasn't, I don't think that's what you stated.
Yeah, the motion is for $1 million to the right-of-way maintenance program as suggested by the administrator, $500,000 for 2 additional years of ACE, the ACE program, $500,000 for Riverwalk repairs and maintenance, and $500,000 towards the illegal dumping initiative.
Okay.
Okay. All right, colleagues, got a motion and a second. Voting, please. Commissioner Clark.
Garrett. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Williams. Dun, 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 dun. Commissioner Clark, you going to vote? Commissioner.
Mr. Dennis, are you?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay. It's unanimous.
All right, Ms. Bonner, is there any further business?
No, sir, that's
All right.
it.
Thank you, college. This meeting is adjourned. We'll see you all in 2 weeks.